everybody. Hi, it's Becky from PowerToolsWithThread.com. That's my blog. I hope you guys are doing well. Today is Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. I got my tongue wrapped around my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying. Oh man. I just thought I'd kind of change the angle on how I do my videos this time. So give you a new little different look at my sewing room from another perspective. I got a little few things to talk to you guys about. I am working on, remember that Quilt of Valor? I had asked y'all, should I do the tone on tone or that other one? Well, the tone on tone went out like leaps and bounds. So it requires 12 squares of blue with the large stars. And y'all know I'm doing that with Simply Applique. So I've got these done. I got to trim them up. And so I got 12 of them done yesterday morning. Yeah, it was yesterday morning I finished them up. And if you're going to do something like this and you know that you have a quilt block and it needs to be whatever size, and you know the finished size is whatever, well, cut it larger and do your applique and all of your stitching and then cut it to size. Because, and especially if you do a satin stitch like this one, then the satin stitch can pull it in just a little bit. So, you know, better safe than sorry to just cut them a little bit bigger. These all will get cut down to 8.5. So, and I wanted to show you guys something too. Let me see if I can find one that really needs it. I don't know if you can tell. You know, when you pull your embroidery out of the hoop, it'll get some kind of wobblies. Can you see? It'll want to pucker a little bit, maybe. Can you see on this one? I mean, you know, I can see it when they're laying down. Well, here's a good one right here. I'll show you guys this. I think that. So sometimes the stitching will kind of pull and tug, and you'll get these little puckers. There is a gizmo, and I got this at an OESD event in San Antonio at All Brands, and so here's one right here. It's got a pretty good, can you see the puckering that's happening there on the end? Well, the idea is this is a piece of wool, but it's very loosely woven. It's not a tight wool like you'd get on a Steady Betty or the Woolly Betty or a wool pressing mat. And I don't know what it is, but I even embroidered press cloth on mine. It doesn't come like that. I embroidered it on there, so I didn't think it was a piece of batting. But I've really found it to be very helpful, and I'll show you what it does. I think you can see here how kind of wavy and pucker, you know, this is just waving just a little bit. Well, it's got it up here too. Let me see what you can see. Okay, yeah. So you put it face down on this wool, and I'm actually going to cover it with a piece of silk organza. This silk organza can really handle heat, and so it can withstand. That's a notion I have had in my garment sewing arsenal for some time. I'm not using any steam. I am just giving this a real good press, and when you do this, I don't think you want to use steam. You might cause some shrinkage and you would just compound your problem. So I can tell it just looks so much better already. So I'm going to take this up now. So the silk organza, that just prevents the thread from getting melted or anything. I don't need, depending on the heat. Now, can you see the star imprint? Well, you don't normally see that on a wool pressing mat. So here's the piece. It's as flat now as it can be, and I'm going to trim it a little bit off the top and a little bit off the side. And normally what I do is I'll just let it cool right where it sits. This is still warm right now, and I think it'll be okay, but I'm just going to let it cool. And it takes a little time to do all 12 of these and let them cool, but it just is fabulous the way this works. So we'll just let that cool. Wonderful, wonderful tool to have in your embroidery arsenal. So I wanted to show you guys that. I will be doing that to all of these blocks and get them all nice and smooth, and it really works very, very well. Also, if you're gonna do any kind of applique like this where you've got satin stitching and you're not sure about your stabilizer, you want to use, I used a heavier tearaway. And I want to say hi to my new sewing friend Paula. She and I got together this last weekend, and she has a brother, PE 770, and it's new to her, and she's really excited to start all the embroidery stuff. So we had a real good time together. So she had some stabilizer, and she was, you know, trying to tear it, and she couldn't. She's like, it doesn't tear. I said, well, that's cutaway. You know, and I think when you're new to embroidery, the world of stabilizers is just really daunting. I mean, there's just so many different kinds of stabilizers, and everybody says, well, what do I use and what do I do? You can search online. I have the dime stabilizer compass, and that's very handy. You know, so you can put in the kind of fabric that you're using, and then it'll come up and tell you what type of stabilizer you need. But this is a medium weight tearaway, and I use this in most of my projects. But you can tell the difference between a tearaway and a cutaway. A tearaway, there's no struggle. It'll tear just like newspaper. It'll tear. It's pretty simple. If it won't tear, it's a cutaway. So you want something a little bit heavier duty when you're going to be using satin stitches around the outside, because you need something to hold up to the pull and the tug. It's called pull compensation. You need something that holds up to that tugging of that going back and forth like this on that satin stitch. And if you've got something that's lightweight like a poly mesh, you're probably not going to be very happy with it. So you're going to see a lot. You'll probably see more wobbling in the fabric than even that little trick I showed you can get out. So anyway, so yeah, I'm getting ready to I have my templates all made up for this is from this Quilt of Valor is from Fons and Porter's Love of Quilting from August 2016. And I pulled the pages out. I was just digging through my stash, I don't know, a couple months ago, and found it. So I've been kind of getting it, you know, just little bit at a time, getting the fabric together and whatnot, and I'm just doing it bit by bit. I'm going to donate this. The Port O'Connor, Texas Volunteer Fire Department has a silent auction every year, and quilts always do really, really well there. So I'm going to donate this to the silent auction to help out the Volunteer Fire Department. So that's real nice. Lots of veterans down there too. So it's a beautiful quilt. Very, very nice. And it looks like it's pretty simple, I think. We'll see. But I had to make a little template and then a larger template. So I got all that done. And then it gives you the size of the stars. You get that in a pattern. And so this star is 7 inches across from point to point. So I just, you know, the star is a standard shape in the Scan and Cut. So I just made that shape in the Scan and Cut, and you know, you can bring it out precisely to exactly the size you need. And then I cut my stars out. I got 4 of them on a 24-inch mat. So I ran it through 3 times and got all my stars, all 12 of them. It works perfect. Of course, then I made the FCM file and popped that into Simply Applique, and then got my stitching done on it. So took me the morning, not a big deal. Oh, I want to let you guys know too, Pam is she's one of the viewers, and she's also in our Facebook group. There's a Power Tools with Thread Facebook group, and if you're interested, please join. We just are a great supportive little group of quilters and machine embroiderers. Garments here and there, they pop in or whatever, but you know, people have questions or people want to just show what they've been working on and all that. So, and then if I know of any kind of deals or anything like that that are going on in the sewing industry, because sometimes I'm connected into those, I'll pop that out there too if there's a sale going on or something. Pam had talked about, instead of using a fabric support sheet on your mat for your scan and cut, if you, or maybe you're out of fabric support sheets, you can use clear contact paper. And I want it. I bet you this $5 at Walmart maybe, and I used it on that 24-inch mat and it worked fabulous. So that fabric did not shift at all, because my fabric support sheets are on my 12-inch mats. So hey, how many of you are getting the upgrade for the Luminaire? Came out with a new one. I understand it's got lots of bells and whistles. I'm gonna hold off. You know, I just got this thing myself, so I'm gonna wait. I bet you. I mean, it comes with a magnetic hoop, I hear. I have a magnetic hoop. And I guess there's a mat that is going to, doesn't need a fabric support sheet, or it's built in already. I don't know. I have to get into it. So I'm sure you can Google it or look on YouTube and somebody will come out and tell you all the cool bells and whistles that are with the new upgrade. I'm pretty happy right now with what I got. You know, I do not use this Luminaire near what it can do. I kind of, you know, we all have our own little comfort zones of things we work on. So anyway, we were on our way to Port O'Connor last weekend, and Jean from Before It's a Quilt down there in Port Lavaca had, somebody had posted on our Facebook group, she was having a live sale. She had a real cute panel that had the word home on it, and the O was replaced by the state of Texas with some flowers and some cactus and stuff, and I just loved it. So I called her and went ahead and reserved that for myself. So I asked my husband Keith, I said, hey, can we stop at the store before we keep going on down to Port O'Connor? And he's like, sure, no problem. And he's a different guy since he retired. You know, I would have expected, rah, 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 but he didn't do that. I was like, really? Okay. So we went in there and I got that, and I'll show it to you another time because I left it down there. But anyway, when I was down there, I found she had a couple of jelly rolls. My favorite fabric designer is Corey Yoder. She's my favorite. I just love her prints, are just so happy. And I picked up that, and it was, matter of fact, I just had to call Jean and say, what was the name of that jelly roll I just got? And it was called Sugar Creek. And I just love it. It came out last year. Really, really beautiful fabric. So I was looking in the Villa Rosa Designs app that for a pattern that uses 2.5-inch strips, and I found Social Climber, and I really like this. I think this is going to be my next one, and that I'm going to do with that Sugar Creek jelly roll from Corey Yoder. I'd show it to you, but I left it in Port O'Connor. So I was in Port O'Connor and I didn't have my pattern because it was up here, and then I'm up here with my pattern all excited to get started and realize I left fabric down in Port O'Connor. I guess that's what I get, right, for having two different places. Anyway, I looked at the fabric swatches on the Moda website for the Sugar Creek jelly roll, and it looks like, so you can tell this, each one of these blocks has a light and dark contrast in the little zigzaggies. So I think that the Sugar Creek jelly roll has the right amount of strips for the contrast. I'll check it out first. If it doesn't, I may end up switching this, but I think this is the one I'm going to do. And also I was digging through some stuff. Oh, gosh. I was watching, who was I watching? I think I was watching Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts. Y'all, I love her channel. She is, if you're not familiar with her, she's got over 100,000 subscribers. I don't know how you wouldn't be familiar with her, but a lot of you are new to this wonderful, wonderful world of quilting. So if you are interested in quilt theory and color theory and all of that stuff, Karen deep dives into that. And I'm a pre-cut girl because I don't, I'm not good with that. That's not my brain doesn't. My brain doesn't. It just doesn't. You know, she starts talking about value and saturation, and I hear Charlie Brown's teacher, wah, 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 and I watch her over and over and over, and I want to get it, and I want to get it. And so I was watching one she did the other day, and it was what to do with 10-inch squares. Well, because 10-inch squares are a pre-cut, I'm like, oh yeah, let me watch that, y'all. That's one of the best videos I have seen on what to do with a layer cake, because those 10-inch squares, you know, so the designer might have, you know, 10 or 12 different designs in a single fabric line, and you might get 1 or 2 pieces of those. Well, what do you do with those? You know, and you don't, and sometimes sometimes a couple of those pieces are the focus fabric, and they're, you know, they slap that one on the top, so that one looks like the real pretty one, and then you come to find out you get 1, maybe 2 of those, and then the rest of them are all supportive designs, if you will, to the focus fabric. She had and I'll link to that video below this one if you're interested in it. I encourage you, if you're a pre-cut person and you've got layer cakes and you don't know what to do with them, she talked about symmetry. Now, symmetry I get. And so I watched that 2-3 times already. I really, really like that one. My brain got. So I really enjoy her channel. And then also, if you are new to this, there's another channel that I really like, and it is called Quilt Roadies. And Anna and G have that channel, and I'll link to that one below as well. And if you like YouTube videos that are quick, 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 that's not the channel for you. Because when you watch Anna's videos, you get a sense of it's just calm. We're just gonna think about it. We're just gonna, you know, and she just brings you along on her process. I sat and watched her one day. Gosh, I think this one was about 40 minutes, and she was hand stitching sitting next to the Columbia River, and G was out on his walk or whatever. That's her husband. And I just sat there and watched her, and she just sat there, and you could hear the birds, and you could see the river, you could see boats going by. Every once in a while she'd take the camera and put it out on the river and let you see, and then she'd just sit there and sew, and she'd talk to you a little bit. And so you know, there are videos that are like in your face and fast and to the point. And so I think I love that our craft has a little bit of something for everybody, and I respect everybody that does this. So everybody's got their own style. It's pretty cool. So, all right. Oh, well, I got off on that. I was watching, I think it was either Karen Brown or it was Anna from Quilt Roadies. And you know how YouTube will pop up the videos on the side that says recommended for you? Well, there was one of my videos, and I think it was from September of last year. And you know, this was going on, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I've gained so much weight. Y'all, I bet you I've put on 10, 15 pounds since last year. Oh, it's terrible. I'm like, my face was, I think I'm a little bit fatter now. I don't know. Maybe I need to get up and move. So, but I the video popped up. It was rolling, you know, it was just rolling. It was on my laptop and I was over here and it's rolling. And I was talking about doing these Kimberbell Happy Hoop Decor Volume 2 Christmas Nativity ornaments. And this was from last year. I didn't get to it last year. So it's August now. I'm going to go ahead and start these. So it should be fun. I couldn't find those 3.5-inch hoops from Kimberbell, or maybe I could and they were too expensive. I don't know. I bought 4-inch hoops, and the part, the circle that it stitches, that is the satin stitch, because I read the instructions. I'm just going to kind of, you know, put it exactly, or it might show a little bit, and it'll be fine. I'll just make it even, and I think it'll look okay. But yeah, so this is really cute. I need to make these up. But oh, I have something fun's gonna happen on Thursday. Y'all know the pattern designer Pam McHenry? Pamela Joe? I got it! She's gonna be here in my sewing studio, and we're gonna socially distance. It's fine. But we are going to just have a little another quilters interview, quilters spotlight. And boy, you guys, I got a really nice response from everybody of the one that I did with Ann Weens. And that was really, really neat to talk to her. She's an icon in the industry. So, you know, I'm a bit of a quilting hack, but I really enjoy talking to these people who do things professionally in the industry. And I like to bring that to you. I think that's a lot of fun too. But Pam McHenry, I've been working on one of her quilts for some time. This is a UFO, flat out. This is probably, how old's Wes now? Was making it for the little boy across the street from us in Port O'Connor. So gosh, he's 3. I've been working on it for 2.5 years. And this is Ocean Friends, and I thought this was just precious, okay? The reason it became a UFO was because I was aware 2.5 years ago, I was really aware of the concept of Simply Applique, but I didn't know how to use it that well. So now that I am with the program completely on Simply Applique, doing blocks like this is going to be a piece of cake. So I think this is just precious. Now, this one, I don't know if I can go back retroactively and stitch this one down using Simply Applique. I may have to do this one the old-fashioned way. But, you know, I was making, this was a test I did on this one, and I didn't get the, I didn't have enough white fabric over here on that little piece right there. So that was a test. And this one I used a poly mesh on the back. And it came out okay, I think. But, you know, I don't have a lot of puckering on this one, but this was just a test. And then, you know, I might be able to go ahead and do this in Simply Applique retroactively. I just need to, I don't know, because you know, you have to do that placement stitch. But I've got all this fabric. I bought all this fabric on a shop hop I did with my girls back in, gosh, 17, long time. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be backing, either the backing or all around the edges. See that? This is real cute. Oh, I want to show you guys. I got something cool. Remember this Hexi quilt kit that this is cut to it, Hexi's. Anyway, I got this up at Creations in Kerrville, Texas, and I cut all of the pieces the wrong size, and I was really frustrated with it, and I foisted it off on my quilty friend Lisa, and she figured out the problem and put it all together for me, and here's the quilt. So here's the quilt top. I've got fabric in here that's going to be, anyway, so yeah, so here's the quilt top, and it's beautiful, beautiful quilt, just gorgeous. These are Michael Morris fabrics, and I just absolutely loved these fabrics. These fabrics just kind of spoke to me. I just loved it. Well, I went searching high and low on the interwebs, and I found a backing. So I got a backing for it, and I found it at the Quilt Crossing in Boise, Idaho. And there it is. So this is going to be the back. Just love it. I love the rust and the blues. This was actually a teal. It called it teal, but I love it. I think it's going to be gorgeous on the back. Also, you know, this is you beginner quilters, just kind of a, not so much beginner quilters, but those of you that are wanting to quilt your own quilts. When it gets, you know, you get the top all done and you're ready to sandwich it all together, and you're either going to do it on your you're going to do free motion on your sewing machine, or if you have taken the plunge with a long arm and you're going to give it a go on the long arm, I recommend that you choose a busy back. A lot of times when you start, you think, oh, I'll just use a sheet, because that way if I screw it up, I'm not going to ruin good fabric, right? Well, the problem with a sheet, unless it's printed from the 1970s, is that because it is plain on the back, you will see every little thread loop, every little oopsie, every little everything. And you can't hide those. There's just no way. So I recommend, if you're going to do that, and that's just experience from me, been there, get yourself a busy back like this. If there's a pattern that doesn't meet for some reason, and on the front you can't see it because it just blends in with the quilting, well, that is definitely going to blend in on the back as well. You will not see it. If you're using a plain colored fabric, a blank fabric, you'll see it. So that's just word to the wise. Word from the wise. I'm not that wise. So, oh, I wanted to thank everybody. Somebody asked me the other day on a comment on the video how Harley was doing. Remember, she had her ACL replaced, and she's doing fabulous, just wonderful. So I'm really grateful to my local vet here. They did a wonderful job. Well, they actually brought in a surgeon from San Antonio, because we're kind of in the boons. And if Harley had been one of them little bitty dogs, he said he could do it himself, but because she weighs 40 pounds, she's not fat, but she's a bigger dog. And so he said that she needed a different kind of surgery that he didn't specialize in. So, you know, that's another one of those things. If you throw money at it, you can probably fix it. Oh, jeez. Y'all, that dog, I've spent more money on that dog than I've ever spent on any other dog. She's wonderful. She's worth it. So she's doing really, really good. Oh, my daughter-in-law up in Colorado Springs, the one who's married to my son, the pastor, is helping me build. She's not helping me. She's doing it. She's building my Shopify store. You guys have been asking and asking for t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. And so we are this close, probably this week, going to launch it. I'm still playing with the shipping and making sure shipping's going to work out right. But very excited about doing that. My husband has been very busy making more of those handcrafted seam ripper stiletto combos, making some on the necklaces that are just awesome. They have a little magnet so it'll come off. You know, it's not like you're pulling yourself forward. It's on a magnet. Made some of those, and I ordered, and they came in. Y'all, these are so cute. Look at these USB sticks. It says power tools with thread. Go sew something. Isn't that awesome? You have to have one of these to move your embroidery designs from your computer over to your machine, you know? So now you'd have something dedicated with that. I also have more t-shirts coming in, and they are, it's hard to get them, I guess. The lady I always buy them from, she's gonna have to do a split order for me. So I've got pink and purple coming this time. So pretty cool. Neat stuff, neat stuff. So hopefully we launch. It's powertoolswiththreadstore.com, and that is out on Shopify. So I'm about ready to abandon Etsy, buy Etsy. Etsy did a thing where, you know, they got a lot of rules. Etsy does. And you know how like on YouTube, you know, YouTube does what YouTube's going to do. It's their platform. We're lucky to be using it. But you know, they don't charge me to use it. But, you know, it's their rules. And if they want to roll mid-roll ads in the middle of a video, then they're going to do it. Oh, a lot of y'all had told me that Joy said she figured out how not to be able to have the mid-roll ads. And I figured it out too. But it has to fully upload and be up and running, and then I can go back in afterwards and uncheck that box. So if you watch it within the first 30 minutes of it being live or out on YouTube, if you watch my videos, then you may see mid-roll ads, but give it 30 minutes and they'll be gone, hopefully. So yeah, so just like YouTube does that, Etsy did a thing where they would advertise my products on like a side banner on websites outside of Etsy. They were called external ads. And if my product was purchased from somebody clicking on that external ad, Etsy took more money out of my profit for that. And so I was making less money on seam rippers that were purchased from outside of Etsy than inside of Etsy. And I couldn't opt out of that. And so, you know, there's not a whole lot of profit in those things anyway. And they were just cutting more and more into why we sell them in the first place. And so Shopify doesn't do that. Shopify is doing really, really well, I understand, on the stock market too. They're just going gangbusters. So they're pretty expensive per share right now. I'm kind of watching that. I don't play the stock market, but maybe my 401k will buy into it. Who knows? All right, you guys. That's kind of what's been going on in my world these last couple of days. I'm looking forward to Pam McHenry coming over here Thursday and see what she's got going on. And we'll talk about her patterns and stuff. So I think that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you all so much for your prayers for Nancy. She's keeping on. Hopefully she gets better soon. So, all right, we will talk to you soon. Go sew something. Bye.